Good morning, beautiful people. Marie Alessi here. I was really looking forward to doing this morning. This topic is so close to my heart because, in particular, in the space of grief, when we are embarking onto our path to healing, there are a couple of things that are really important to say about control. In a time where we feel that all control is taken off us, that we are in this space of helplessness, and a lot of people fall into this trap of believing that life is happening to us and they feel completely out of control, and often it also results in an out of control body experience. So I thought it would be a perfect time to actually talk about this topic of control and how important it is to address in a space of grief, in a space of healing. And there are, as always, two sides to the story of control. There is the healthy and the unhealthy side. Let's just face it straight on, okay? There's the healthy side in terms of what can I actually control? What can I, Marie, in my current situation right now, control that will help me onto my path to healing? And what can I not control? The number one thing I want to say here is, and we go into a little bit more detail with a few examples that I've prepared for you. But the number one thing is, even in a time when you feel that events are out of control, i.e., adversity, we can still control, we can still direct, we can still choose how we actually respond to it. I took four examples that are very common examples, and that's why I thought they might be helpful to you here as well to address them. Number one is food. So some people really go down that path after adversity where they can't eat at all. They can't eat at all. They don't feel like eating. Let's change the language around that straight away, because I share with you what I hear and I share with you what I feel is better to reword it, reframe it, find different words for us, because it already changes your mindset. And that is one of the four examples I've chosen for control. I'll get to that towards the end. So food, number one thing. A lot of people feel that they don't want to eat. And I remember in the very early stages, I dropped quite a bit of weight after Rob passed away because I really just felt like I couldn't eat. And in hindsight, I understand that my subconscious chose to not have any food intake for a couple of days, for a couple of hours. I can't even remember how long that phase took. I just remember losing quite a bit of weight in those early weeks because I had in my mind, I can't eat. That was in my mind, I can't eat, I can't eat. And now I understand that it was one way of my subconscious to take control, one way for my subconscious to go like, there's the one thing that I can control in a time where everything in my life feels out of control. And here's already the number one red flag. We need to make sure that this is not becoming an ongoing unhealthy behavior due to wanting to be in control of something. Some people really do go into this completely unhealthy eating behavior because they don't realize that their mind is just trying to control something where they feel completely out of control. So for some people that goes into like really unhealthy eating patterns, as in not eating enough or not eating at all. Or for other people that goes into the complete opposite direction, eating everything they can, binge eating, more food, more junk food, more alcohol, and it becomes very out of balance very quickly. I remember when I flew to Perth with the boys the day after Rob passed. We had to go to the other side of Australia to identify Rob's body, and I was really lucky that we had friends in Perth who picked us up, who took us in, who really nurtured us and looked after us. And it was like day 3 after Rob's passing, and I realized, oh my God, I've hardly eaten anything, if at all. I can't even remember if I ate anything the first 2 days. And I said to her, I crave fresh fruit, fresh vegetables. I need to eat something healthy. My body kicked in and I went like, I need to nurture myself. I need to now really, really look after myself because I'm it. I'm the only parent they now have. And I also remember having this exact same thought when I drove to Rob's parents and shared the news about Rob's passing with them. I remember that a couple of people came together, a lot of people actually, and they all had a drink, which is like with no judgment whatsoever, because this is the culture, this is the tradition, this is the red wine came out and the grappa came out, and people mourn over, sharing a drink together. And I remember sitting there thinking, I cannot possibly have a drink right now because I need to stay in control. So, from very early stages on, something kicked in that was very much in a preserving mode. I need to preserve my health. I need to be there. I need to be present. I need to um, be as healthy as possible. I need to nurture myself. There were all these needs that I felt that I luckily addressed. So, food can go either way. Food is something that you do have in control. Just please make sure that you switch on your conscious mind around, am I controlling that in a healthy way or in an unhealthy way? Am I supporting myself? Am I nurturing myself through the food? Because I am in control what I eat. Am I making sure that I get enough nutrients and vitamins into my body? Or am I just going the opposite way and going down the binging and junk food road and too much alcohol, too much food, too much this? Is it just comfort food? You can have comfort food, but that could be in the form of a hearty soup, a chicken soup, whatever your dietary requirements are. But it can again be in a junk food or in a healthy form. And I want you to just think about that. Just become aware of it. That's always the first step to changing anything and to taking control in a healthy and positive way. Got my little notes here so I don't forget anything. The second part that I've written down here is your body. Your body is something that you have in control. Unfortunately, some people go down the route of self-harming because their subconscious screams out for feeling something. They have gone so numb that they start self-harming or neglecting their body. It doesn't always have to go to the full extreme, but there's this full range of neglect to self-harming. The passive, the active one. I actually believe that they're both active, as in not doing something is also an action, is also a choice, if that makes sense. So just do a stock take right now, where you're at in your life right now when it comes to your body. Do you neglect it or do you nurture it? We have that in our control if we nurture our body. I, for example, go to regular massages. I mention that over and over again because it is such a big part of my healing journey. I go to kahuna massages every 3 weeks. It's a Hawaiian healing massage, and I absolutely love it. It does so much for me on a physical, emotional, mental level. I cannot even describe what it does for me. It is so nurturing. It is like 2 hours of massive self love, being loved, being nurtured, being cared for. And I also understand that some people might be sitting here going, like, Marie, I can't possibly afford to go to a massage every 3 weeks. That's okay. You can definitely afford some sort of cream. It may sound ridiculous to compare the two, but there's something to be said about stepping out of the shower and like literally putting some cream on you, because you are signaling to your body, to your mind, to your core that you are important, that you are worth it, that you are taking care of yourself. This is something that you have in control. How do you address your body? For me, there is such a simple part, where you can really signal to your body that you are looking after yourself, that you are taking care of yourself. And that brings me to the next point, mindset. The way we talk to ourselves is something that could be potentially worse than our worst bully in our life. I really invite you to listen to your own chitter chatter, to your own voice, to your own words that you form about yourself, about your life, about the choices that you have in your life, and really address that. Just look into that. How are you actually talking to yourself? Language is so important. It is something that we do have under control. We can become aware of it. Again, every time, whatever we talk about here today, awareness is the first step. Once you are aware of your internal language, of how you actually address yourself, talk to yourself, think about yourself, this is when we can change it. And there's actually a beautiful book that I want to address here, that I want to share with you. And I will be sharing the link in the comments below, so you don't have to remember it right now. There's a book that I recently got recommended by somebody, and I devoured it, and I'm actually just into my second round of reading it again. And that is called Love Yourself as If Your Life Depends on It. And that, to me, like, just that shout out, I'm like, I need to read this, because maybe it's something that I can use, maybe it's something that I can share, and I'm sharing it with you guys here because I found it incredibly beautiful and helpful, and it is such an amazing story. It is all about self-love, like the title suggests. So feed your mind with beautiful and healthy things. When you think about that, that goes back to, what do you feed your mind with? Because if we feed our mind with junk all around us, if that's binge watching Netflix, it's coming back to the binging behavior. If that's hanging out with the wrong people, if that's reading trash magazines, whatever that is, it is really just as simple as, is this lifting me up, or is that dragging me down? Be aware of how you talk to yourself in your own mind. And we can practice that. We can absolutely practice that. There's a beautiful exercise that I often share. I call it my inner best friend exercise. This is where you close your eyes, take a deep breath in, just be present to your heart. And then just imagine that you slip out of yourself and sit right next to yourself, and you become your own best friend. And you put your arm around you and you have this conversation. And what that does is you slip into outside perspective. You're not trapped in your own mindset anymore. You're not trapped in the, oh, I'm not ever going to get there. This is really, life's just really cruel. Life's just really, how is this and why is this happening to myself? You start that self-bashing, if that makes sense, when you slip into the outside perspective. When you become your own best friend, and you talk to yourself in a nurturing way, because when we talk to a friend, we are supportive. We are there to help them, help her, help him get out of that funk, just really address the things that they can change, that they can actually choose. We can control the way we think. Practice it, just really practice it. And then last but not least, my last example that I've written down here, really, really important, is friends. Please do a stock take of your friends. Sometimes there are people around you that you don't even realize how supportive they are. Like in particular in adversity, those of you who have lived through adversity might be able to relate to that. In adversity, there are friends coming out of the woodworks that you would have never thought that are there for you, and others that you thought will be there for you might not. And please, please don't judge them for it. I was in this mindset, and I'm so grateful that I changed it. There's this common saying that, oh, in adversity you realize or you learn who your true friends are. I couldn't agree less with that. I don't believe that in adversity we'll learn who our true friends are in terms of judgmental, as in, you weren't there for me how I needed you. We learn how our friends deal with adversity potentially differently to us. They have their own way, their own beliefs, their own spirituality around somebody's passing. That might result of people coming out of the woodworks and being near us, close to us, supporting us, who we haven't even met before, haven't even been close to before, and others who we've been so close to might completely drift away from you. And that is okay. It is just something that shows you how people deal with situations differently. So again, I want you to become aware of who is supporting you in your life right now. The people that you spend most of the time with. We become the average of the 5 people we spend most of our time with. So please just think about, who do you allow into your life? That is another thing that you have control of. Who do you surround yourself with? Are those friends lifting you up? Are they supportive? Then they are true friends. Or are they dragging you down? Are they just zapping your energy? Are they just, draining you? Then please maybe just pause that for a little bit, or maybe just see if you could spend less and less time with those people. I'm including relatives here. Okay, so to recap that, I want you to start thinking about, what do you actually have control of? Think about the food, think about the body, think about your mind, think about your friends. In all cases, whatever we have mentioned here today or not, in every case, I want you to think about, are you using the control that you do have in a healthy way, in a nurturing, supportive way, in making choices that help your mind, your body, your life, your healing? Or are you using it in an unhealthy way in terms of binge eating or not eating at all, or maybe even self harming, or hanging out with the wrong people, or self bashing you, self shaming you for things that you could actually control? There's a lot to be said about forgiveness. There's a lot to be said about kindness. But for now, I just want to start with that. Please do a stock take. Look into the status quo of your life right now, where you're at with your control, and use it to do something beautiful for you. This is coming from a space of absolute love and kindness. I'll be sharing the book I mentioned in the comments below. And I'm here for you to have a chat about all those things, because everything we mentioned today will also be teaching at our beautiful Loving Life After Loss retreat. I'm sending you so much love. This is Marie. Bye for now.